Whenever you're running a marketplace e-commerce platform, the foundation of the marketplace itself is items that are listed for sale or products. And ultimately, these products ideally are going to come from sellers who can self-manage their account and upload these products. So the product management area of your marketplace is foundationally, vitally important to your marketplace's success or failure. How easy is it for your sellers to find where to upload products and then to be able to utilize the workflow that you have in place? Now, keep in mind, most marketplace platforms need an approval workflow, and a lot of them have to think about various different topics that I'm going to go over briefly in this video. A couple of notes on this in general are that your marketplace may be different than a lot of others out there. A lot of our clients that we work with have very unique workflows, and that's a good thing. If you're able to adapt your workflow to your specific niche or niches that you serve, this is going to make you more competitive within the space. And as long as you can present it in an intuitive way that your users can intuitively figure out, this is going to be a really positive thing for your marketplace. But one of the biggest things that we want to note is that whenever someone uploads a product, we want to make it as easy as possible for them to do this. So first of all, they should be able to log in and find the Manage Products section of your dashboard. And then within that, they should be able to go in and easily create new products. Now, within the product creation screen, we want it to be intuitive, and we want to provide them with tooltips and information so that they understand sort of a minimum baseline that they are recommended to fill out, that they're required to fill out, and then also provide them with suggestions and best practices. This can go as far as visual indicators that show a green, a red, yellow, or green based on how much information they provided. And we can even do some pretty interesting things like AI analysis to get an idea of how effective their description, their imagery, their meta information, etc. is going to be relative to other marketplace listings, not just in your platform, but in other platforms too. It's also possible for us to offer suggestions based on pulling in external listings of the same SKU or similar SKUs and pulling in information and then rewriting it using AI or machine learning, for example, or at least just providing it as a visual recommendation for them to compare against. So there are a lot of things that you can do to make it a lot easier for your sellers so that they're not really flying solo and having to bring all this data in on their own. Now, the other thing that we want to point out about these product listings is it's also really, really important to make sure that wherever possible, we can automate things. So we want to be able to offer the seller integration to their back office systems or bulk upload capabilities. Now, these are really, really key aspects as you scale, but you may be surprised if you haven't already factored these in, that as you scale, these will come up pretty rapidly based on different sellers that you're working with and what they're accustomed to as far as their interaction with a marketplace platform. It's relatively simple to turn on bulk upload and API integrations whenever you're working with the right marketplace e-commerce platform. Now, the other thing that you'll want to consider is role-based access for products and product management. Since this is the heartbeat, the very heartbeat of what a seller is providing in the marketplace, the seller may want to have multiple users within their account that have access to do just inventory or pricing updates as opposed to listing new products, for example, or managing the products. Or they may want to have a role that can only upload imagery and media to enrich and hydrate that listing for a particular product as well. These are just a couple of examples of scenarios where user management could be very key for your sellers within this process. Now, the other thing that we want to point out for your consideration is making sure there's some form of approval workflow. Now, a lot of our clients will allow a seller to inherit from a previously created listing of an item that they're selling and they're able to fill against, but we already have the item listed in the marketplace. In that type of a scenario, we may want them to be able to make recommendations for updates for them to further enhance the record with information that they have that might be deeper or more robust than what's already on the marketplace. Though we don't necessarily want to just instantly approve someone to be able to push their changes to the production marketplace and affect all the other sellers. So there may need to be an approval process, and there may need to be some inheritance and workflow related to different sellers updating the same SKU or the same product ultimately. And we may also need to have the capability of dealing with fraudulent items that are listed and being able to flag those and have a workflow for those as well. Now, as you can imagine, with AI and machine learning, this is also a capability that we can simply look at patterns for what ends up being fraudulent. And we can also try to identify, based on users who flag something, the credibility of the users, and enable ourselves to very rapidly, based on credibility of the seller or a buyer who flags something, remove items that are not valid. In addition, we can also set up pretty advanced workflows where your team members can, based on the perceived credibility that's seen from a posting of a product that a seller wants to get published, we can sort of do an analysis, and if the analysis doesn't really pass, we can send it off for a manual review. If it does pass, we can send it to the site, but make it available for buyers to be able to flag, and if they flag it, puts it back into a queue for manual review. There are all kinds of permutations of these scenarios that I just walked through. It can be very, very simple, or it can be more complex and therefore potentially take care of edge cases that you really have to think about. Now, with that said, if any of this seems overwhelming at all, well, we just want to point out that as you scale your business, you're going to want to be considering some of these aspects and at least asking yourself the questions and putting some form of plan together around these aspects of your marketplace e-commerce platform. The sellers are vitally important, and this is the heartbeat of their ability to make sales. We encourage you to work with a partner and work with a platform that have gone through all the different permutations before that you're going to be encountering, and work to really analyze your business so that you can optimize the workflow and the processes for your sellers and your buyers. With that said, if you'd like, you're welcome to engage our team for what we refer to as a complimentary discovery. It's a no sales process where you can talk with our business analysts, engineering team members, and find out a little bit more about some of these areas and discuss some of these topics and get recommendations from our team based on your scenario for how you might complete your project successfully. With that said, we would love it if you would also smash the like button. And if you're interested in seeing more of these, feel free to subscribe, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.